All right, Riggs, we got a very special guest. I'll leave it up to you, brother.
Hey, man, celebrating the 20th anniversary of Niu FM. We've got a staple guest for New Zealand R&B, Polynesian music as well, man. We've got one half of Adeaze. We've got Nainz in the building. Let's go!
Morning, fams. Firstly, happy birthday, guys.
Hey.
We made it 20 years. Just like that.
Man, what's your first, and I know it's probably going back away, what's the first time you can remember Niu FM just being on the radar?
It was probably back in 2002. Yeah, and so that's when we released our first single, A Life of You. And so, yeah, that's how long ago. So it's 20 years for A Life of You, man.
Wow.
Yeah, since it came out. Niu FM was the first to play it. We had our first, it was pretty much our first radio interview on Niu FM back in those days. But, yeah, it's come a long way. I mean, these days I sit around and I look at all the technology that's going on here. 20 years ago, we didn't have all the stuff here, but just had a microphone and a simple desk.
Who was running the show back then? It was Oscar?
It was Oscar, Tewila,
and Mario?
And Mario, yeah.
Man.
Yeah, so, man, it's crazy to think of. Yeah, when Louis called me up to come through and just jogged the memories a little bit about Niu FM, and I just remember Niu FM being back in those days being our first Pacific Island radio station, so it was something proud for us Islanders. To see the growth of Niu FM over the 20 years has been amazing, and it still stands as my favorite radio station for one reason. They support PI music, No other radio station plays, up and coming artists, or anyone's that's what I loved about Niu FM over the years. They'll just play random people that you don't know, random, island artists or whatever. And, it was different to hear, driving around because pumped with mainstream music and all of that. So, yeah.
And you become a fan of of the new artists that you hear. You're like, oh man,
of course. And then you're able to go look them up. Yeah. So that's what's awesome about it. Man.
Is there any, being a vet in the game, is there any artists that are on your radar that you've any New Zealand artists that are on your radar?
Man, to be honest, I just pretty much saw them all at the PMAs. I've been a little bit out of touch. But yeah, man, I know there's plenty of there, and I know the growth of New Zealand music, especially with our PI scene, is definitely thriving since 2002.
Yeah. So 2002, take us back. Was it Ponsonby or whereabouts was it?
It was Otahuhu.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's where it was first, and I don't even know the name of the street, but it was pretty much in the heart of Otahuhu.
Yeah.
And even that's a special thing,
It is.
Yeah.
South Auckland, You guys are back in South Auckland.
Yeah. It's nice being here in Manukau.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Better view.
Yes. I remember, all the trouble I used to get into outside of Sterling Sports over there. So it takes me back. It takes me back to the good days.
Did you return that pair of shoes?
I don't know, bro, but
he's got him on his feet right now.
But just even that little area of Manukau too, that this streetwear places that were there, you're like, oh man, that's taking a ride back.
Yeah.
Back when you were, 22. Sorry.
2002.
That's what I'm asking.
I was 22 in 2000.
See, that's what I was trying to get
I'm a 1980 baby.
Hey.
So what was the structure of the station like? So who was in the afternoons? Who was in the morning? Oh, so we had
in the
Oscar
morning,
Tewila?
Oscar, Tewila, and Mario. I think it was Sela and someone else.
Yeah.
On the drive. Yeah, the afternoon show.
Oh man.
And yeah, I remember at nighttime they used to play a lot of have all the island ones come on.
Oh,
and
come
like
through
all the
and
different islands, the Cook Islands and Samoan.
Yeah.
So everyone had their segment back in those days.
That's me, man. With no Spotify playlists and that back in the days.
Yeah.
How important was it to have radio play?
Definitely important.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the difference with today and back in those days. Back in those days, you had to try and push your stuff onto the radios to get people to listen to it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just walking around with your CD. Hey, listen to this. There's no airdropping anything and so today is it's one of the best things about today is you can produce music at home, release it from home if you want, check it on YouTube, start a channel. There's all these different platforms that you can release music and get people to start listening to your song. So I know how much it would have changed for the radio games. They're like, what? We got competition where?
You can only play it over here.
Nah, but it's still much needed. And that's the thing with radios. People have that natural thing where if they don't hear it on the radio, it's like they almost didn't make it.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what was the key thing back in those days. It's like if you made it on radio or TV, everyone thought, man, surely these guys are
cracking it.
Can you remember the first time that you heard yourself on like a song that you guys have done, like from somebody else playing on the radio, like someone walking past or just at all?
Oh yeah, I mean just cars that were driving past and we're just at the lights and then they're rocking up and next to us and you hear our song and you hear our Life of You, see all these gangsters sitting there playing the Life of You.
Because just that feeling in itself.
Yeah, and there's heaps of those moments. I do remember though, after our Niu FM interview with Oscar and them, and we drove away from the station and just listening to the song in the car. Yeah, that was a buzz back in those days, 22 years old, and just, having that sense of, we achieved something. And it was tough back in those days.
Yeah, definitely. A Life of You was like it's just banger of a track, still, being played out today. Did you feel like you got a lot of support from Niu back in the days? Like, in terms of like just getting any song like on the radio?
I think we were just fortunate all the time that we came out and a lot more PI artists were starting to come out, and we came out with a kind of a different sound for that time, and so I think a lot of people kind of
there was a lot of listeners back then, and a lot of fan base too.
So going back to 2002 when it was first happening, with the explosion of Adeaze that came onto the scene, is there anything that you can remember that like happened then that was like Niu FM like helped you guys out and assisted?
Yeah, definitely, just pumping our music, chucking us on A rotation.
Because did anybody else do that? Early or nah? Was that later?
Nah, all the other radio stations jumped on after the single started going out, because this was our single that went platinum in a week.
Whoa!
So it was like one of those.
That's
and like that's what
numbers,
surprised us.
Because that at that time with the Decepticons, with Scribe, with everything coming out all at once, this would have been a huge vessel to try and push that music, because it was hard to get on those others.
Definitely. I mean, for us, it's always hard to get in. Back in those days, it was hard to get into all the other radio stations. You had to. It's like a political war. You had to go and sit down and have meetings and buy coffee.
True.
But Niu was just like, oh, that's me. Let's chuck it on.
Like, that's me. What are they? So I'm on me.
Get in here.
Pacific Island Station.
Would you happen to come in like a lot more after like A Life of You? Did you come on to the shows lot more after that?
I mean, it's like a 10-year slog of like doing radio stations after that. And so I remember coming into Niu FM, different places. Where was the last place before here?
Ponsonby maybe, or
Ponsonby. It was Otahu. Ponsonby. Shucks.
Bruce Lee sushi down the road. I can tell. Had some kava with Ruben.
Oh man, just a quiet couple.
So
couple of hours.
You would have had some good relationships with a lot of the older hosts that came before us, and that.
I've known Jandals is someone I went to school with and grew up with in church and all of that. So it's awesome to see him in the stations back in those days. We used to just crack up. I used to find it funny just seeing him sit there and then just hearing him talk. And I you never used to talk like this in church. But nah, it's also proud because like we're all from the same school. You know? Mangere College was creaming it back in those days. We were a force to be. Nah.
Then what happened?
Mangere College today, man.
We left. And then there was Oscar, Te Wheeler and all of them. So
good vibes with everybody
Yeah.
around the station. Yeah,
Stella
videos.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's great to have people that sound like just regular, like just us, you know, just
Yeah.
out there.
Oh.
Instead of the
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back to
Welcome
the,
back to New FM. You're in the beat of the Pacific.
And how was it growing up in South Auckland?
Oh, it's definitely relaxed now. I think those are the types of things that you learn at radio school and stuff, and that's what some of our European brothers and sisters call professionalism. you know? But professionalism in these days comes in many shapes,
Yes, that's
different
true,
fashions and stuff like
just
that.
showing
So,
up on
yeah,
time.
Yeah,
Hey, Riggs.
What are you looking at me for?
Sometimes that's a bit professional.
Oh,
Jeez.
Well, I was a little bit late this morning.
Oh, no, you're
hey.
fine. You're a guest.
No, you're the goat, so don't worry about that.
You can-
Nah.
as long as you shut up,
Definitely
we were
not,
happy.
man.
Anyway, we've got a game that we're going to play after this. You'll love it. You'll love it.
I hope so.
You'll be all
You're actually you might win this one.
Okay.